Hey, what's up guys? I am not dead, I promise. I know it's been a really long time since I made a video, but there was a whole, we'll put it this way, I started the channel in January, and at, like the 6-month mark, I think I already had 90-ish videos or so, and if you look at the average blogger out there, the more casual ones, I don't know, I feel like they don't release that many videos. I did, for a while, I just kept cranking them out, and it's just wearing me out. Sometimes you just need a little R&R. So anyway, I'm here to tell you that I am indeed alive. I didn't die. I just took a little break, and not really just a break. It's really more of I've had a billion other things to work on. Stuff around the house. My wife's getting minor surgery next week, so I gotta be home to take care of her, and just tons of stuff coming up, but nothing major, just busy stuff. So I'm back. Now the first thing you notice is some color correction cards. Got your, 17% gray and your black and your white for color correction. Decided to go ahead and start doing that. Another reason is because, I can't tell you which yet because I haven't made the decision, but this is being recorded in 4K as we speak. I got the new iPhone 6s Plus, actually, and before you go freaking off saying, oh god, he's an Apple guy, I also have the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, so I'm equal opportunity gadget nerd. I like everything, so don't get your panties in a bunch about me using an Apple product. It's really not that big of a deal. So, yeah, I decided I'd try to up my quality, because that's one thing I noticed. There's so many good tutorials out there for lots of different things, especially electronics and coding and that kind of stuff, tech-related tutorials. But a lot of them were made before YouTube switched us to HD, and so a lot of them just have horrendous quality. A lot of the people didn't use a separate mic, and so they use the one built into their phone or whatever they recorded it with, and some devices have decent microphones built in them, and it's not that terrible, but some, for example, and hey, I'll just show you, I can say bad things about Apple. The iPhones, while they record excellent video, the sound, the microphones built into the phone are not good at all. In fact, they're terrible. So, which is funny because their call quality is among the best I've heard. So I guess apparently they use a different mic for the sound recording, but that's a video for another subject. I don't use the built-in microphone, so it doesn't matter. I use a Shure PG42. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing this. Now I have had this for a while. It's one of those bigger ones, but it's just harder to get in the shot. It's easier just to have these, just show these in the shot, and then you're good to go. So I'm gonna start. Hopefully, if I can remember, do color correction, and it should look a little better. Now, what I can't decide is if I'm going to do, if I'm going to do 4K upload, or if I'm going to downsample it to 1080p. Now, you might say, why would you record it in 4K if you're going to downsample it to 1080p? Why wouldn't you just record in 1080p? The file would be smaller. Your phone wouldn't heat up as much. It'd be quicker to transfer the files to the computer that you're rendering them with. Rendering will be easier. It'll render faster. It'll upload faster, and all of that is completely true. But there's a benefit to downsampling, and it's that the downsampling algorithms that shrink it down are really smart, and they will get you much better detail when you go from like a 4K down to 1080p size. You just get more detail, especially. Not so much in the stuff up close to the camera. You won't really notice any difference at all, probably. But if you have a shot where you can see stuff up close and kind of off into the distance, the stuff like at the other end of the room where there's more detail, you'll see it's sharper and there's a lot more detail and clarity on the downsampled footage versus the 1080p footage. And I might actually maybe make a video about that next weekend. My wife will be at home and I'll be stuck at home with her because she'll be kind of bed rest for like a week. So maybe I'll do that next week. Just put. My wife has the same phone, and so that way it's the same camera, same lenses, same optics. One will just be set to 4K, one will be set to 1080p, and I'll downsample the 4K one and then upload both and then see how they look compared to each other. But it's kind of funny because Dave Jones recently made a video similar to this, but his was taking 1080p video, upscaling it to 4K, and uploading it as a 4K because I guess YouTube has higher bitrate that they allow for 4K, and then even when it renders these smaller resolutions, once you upload it, that the 1080p one will end up looking better than the 1080p that you uploaded natively. I don't know. So this is kind of a similar thing, but I guess I'm going the other way. I'm recording it in 4K and then downsampling it. Now, I have a DSLR, but it's bigger. It requires a huge tripod. I did get a new tripod, by the way. I picked up a big, beefy Manfrotto, and I got a big fluid video head for it, also from Manfrotto. I'll probably start using that because, I've had people complain about this. I'll set something down and it shakes the whole camera because my phone is actually sitting on a little mini tripod that's like this tall, and then I have one of these. I have several of these. I really love these. They work great. You just screw this in your tripod, and then you can open it up, slide your phone into it, and then squeeze it, and it's got soft, like rubberish material there, so you don't scratch your phone. And it works great. So, I've had several people message me and say, you really need to put your camera on a tripod that's not on your workbench, so whenever you touch it, you don't shake the video, because they said it's really distracting. And I don't argue with that. I don't blame them for thinking that, because it is really annoying. It annoys me whenever I'm post-processing and editing, and it's just ugh. So I still haven't decided, because not a lot of people have 4K, and I've tried to do like a blind test, not blind test, but I'll watch a 4K video on YouTube, and then I'll watch the same video in 1080p, and I have 4K monitors. I have some really nice Dell 4K monitors on my rendering machine. I can't really see that much of a difference, YouTube compresses it enough. I think if it were raw footage with no compression, and then I saw them on my computer one after the other, I'm sure I would definitely be able to tell a difference. But after YouTube's done compressing them, I don't really see that big of a difference. So I think, especially since most people don't have 4K monitors or TVs yet, that I think it'd still be better now for me to record in 4K, downsample it to 1080p so I get higher quality 1080p video. And yeah, I think that might be the better route. And actually, I might, if I can remember to, I'll put a link in the description of this video. I saw a video by a guy. What was his name? Oh, I actually think I remember the channel name. I think it was F Stoppers. I think that's what it is. The guy made a video where he took, the title of the video is pretty controversial. People, you go into the comments and it's ridiculous. But, he said, my iPhone 6S records better 4K video than my DSLR. Or better, he said better video. So what he did was what I'm talking about. He took the iPhone, recorded 4K video, downsampled it to 1080p, and he showed back and forth video samples, and it was night and day. The iPhone did it way better than his $5,000 DSLR setup. And that $5,000 was the cost of the body, the cost of the lens, and whatever else. The total cost of the camera with everything to take the 4K video cost that much. And the iPhone, which you can get for $650, did well. If you're gonna record 4K, you wouldn't want the base model. You'd want to step the memory up, so it'd be like $750. But it did better. And obviously, when you downsample it, you get way better quality. So that was the big thing you notice, is that off in the distance, it just resolved much better detail without any sharpening algorithms to go chew everything up and add a lot of noise like you get a lot of times. So. Anyway, you're probably screaming at me like, shut up about 4K and smartphones and Apple crap. What is this you have sitting in front of you? That's a good question. That is something that I'm going to be reviewing. So this is a meter I've had. You've probably seen it in some of my videos. It's the U1253B. And actually, I might review this at some point, because I noticed that there aren't any reviews of it. And Dave Jones reviewed the 1252B, was it? Or was it the 1253A? Either way, it was the slightly different model of this. It's still OLED, but his is blue instead of orange. And so this is the model with, it's got some revisions and changes to the one he's got. Different enough that maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's different, that much different, but it is supposed to be a little bit different, so I might review it at some point. But yeah, go watch a review for his, and it's probably close enough. But I've had this for a while. It's the Bluetooth, whatever is it, class 1? Whatever the Bluetooth is that has really long range, like 100 yards or something crazy. That's what this is. There's an older one that's the close range, like 10 or 15 yards. And that's not this. This is the new one, the really long range one. Now, I have the companion app on my phone, but I read through the user agreement, the EULA, and found that it freaking said to agree to use it, you can't review it. So yeah, it's one of those like what I want to say. Basically, I said to review it. It's just I'd rather not mess with them, like sending me a cease and desist because I reviewed something they said not to review in their stupid user agreement. But yeah, how chicken shit is that? You're gonna make a product and you're afraid that Fluke's gonna take the product and then put it on a video next to their superior product and then embarrass your product or something. So I'm guessing that's the reason they put it in there. They don't want competition, because trust me, there's a lot of things I could complain about with this, but obviously I can't go into detail because the stupid thing they put in the EULA. Now, would they come after me? I don't know, but Agilent /Keysight / whatever you're going by these days. If you see this video and you are okay with me reviewing it, let me know. I would love to review it because obviously if you don't know anything about this, people are gonna be like, well, I don't know anyone that has one, and I've never seen a single review, so I don't know if it's worth the money. I think I'm just gonna get a Fluke 289, and that's what most people do. It's proven, and everyone's used one of those, and they have a graphing like capability on the screen, and you can drill down, and it's just awesome. And there's some other competitors out too. Was it FLIR or was it X-Tech? One or the other made a new one, and I think MJ Lorton reviewed it, and it seems okay. It seems like the Fluke might still be better, but Agilent doesn't have anything in regards to being competition to that. And so this is really your only option, is get your smartphone out and then pair it to this. But I can't review it, unfortunately, because of that. But I didn't see anything that said I couldn't review this. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is it? You still haven't told us. So this is a neat little device that pairs to this Bluetooth transceiver, and it's the same Bluetooth like class 1 or whatever, the one that'll go like, oh look, 100 meters, so even better, 100 freaking meters. It's got a really, really nice like color LCD display. I don't think it doesn't look like OLED. I think it's like a TN or TFT, some kind of LCD. And anyway, you pair this to there, and then you can do remote data logging from up to 100 meters away, and it's awesome because you can put this in a really like a noisy environment that'd be hard on human ears, or in a dangerous environment or whatever, and then put this at a safe place 100 yards away, and then log. And this will connect up to, I believe, 4 devices. So you can have up to 4 devices. So I have not used this yet. The only use I've had of this so far is I turned it on and I paired it to my multimeter just to make sure that I can see the value on this display, and it worked. And then I turned it off, and that's been it. So I've been dying to try this, but I've been so busy I haven't gotten to it. Could this be a potential competitor to the Fluke 289? I don't know, but if you stay tuned, we'll have a video where I review this, and we'll find out, because I don't know. Will this do graphing? I literally, at this point in time recording this video, I really honestly don't know what this does. I know it's for like remote viewing, and it has obviously the ability to log, but does it utilize the nice graphical display and do what the Fluke 289 does? I don't know. I really honestly have no idea, so we'll find out, because anybody who's had one of these knows that the data logging in is pretty crap. You've got like, what, 100 spots, or actually I shouldn't say, I don't remember how many data points you can store, but it's not very many, and you can do it by interval. But the one on the U1272A and B, those do it better. That, and on the 1272 model, you can use the little auto hold or touch hold, whatever Agilent calls theirs. I can't remember a key site. You can use that while you're in logging mode, and as soon as it captures a value, it saves it, and you can just keep touching. So you can go down in a row and measure a bunch of components or batteries or whatever. This one, you have to manually hit log while you're holding your probes onto whatever, and then go to the next one and then hit log. And it's stupid. It's a bad design. This is the flagship model, but the lower, cheaper model, the 1272 model, has the ability to do that. So maybe there's a firmware update for this that'll fix that and make it better, but at this point in time, it's really annoying. So hopefully this offers something that's way better, because from what I've seen, the iPhone or Android app doesn't look so great, but I can't really say much more beyond that because I'm not supposed to. So I got that. That's coming up. Oh, if I could get to it. That's my Fluke 87.5. I picked up this guy in the meantime. This is the very top Hioki model. It's the DT4282, and I've seen a lot of people curious and interested about this, but not a lot of people have it, and I've never seen a single review of this multimeter before, especially a video review. I've seen some people say, hey, I have one and I like it, but I haven't seen any like full detailed reviews of this specific model. This is a very, very, very top model. There's another one that doesn't have current measurement range, but you can use a current probe. So obviously it's cheating because it doesn't have a shunt, it's just measuring voltage. But yeah, I really like it, really high quality. The only problem is that the price isn't very competitive by the time you get it shipped to the States or maybe even Europe compared to like what you get from Fluke or Agilent. So or Bryman, or some of the other brands. The price is up there, so the question is it worth it? I don't know, but if you stay tuned, I will do a review of this. So this one I've actually had a lot of time to use, and I can say I do like it a lot. Now, whether I recommend you getting that over one of these, that I don't know if I can say that or not, because I don't know. They both serve different purposes. The Hioki is more of a novelty type thing. It's cool and it's exotic because not a lot of people have one of those, so it's different, and that's got its own cool factor. And if you're a test equipment nerd like me, then that's actually not a terrible reason to get one. Sometimes all the reasoning you need is just because you want one, and there's nothing wrong with that. Batterizers are supposed to be shipping this next month, so whenever they send them, I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to take those bastards and I'm going to test them in a million different products, put a video up, and make sure nobody buys the damn things because it's a total ripoff. We'll see if they even ship them, but that's supposed to be next month. Is there anything else? My home networking, I've hooked a new router up, but I haven't actually redone my networking. That'll free up a ton of space under my bench. It's one of those things where I was going to do a server rack in the basement, and due to logistical reasons, trying to run wiring through my walls. I bought the house new, but I unfortunately didn't buy it until after they had finished building it, so I didn't get a chance to run all my wiring myself through the walls. And I can't find a good place to get the wiring from between my basement to my first floor. I can get from my first floor to my second floor. I can get from the attic into the second floor, and I can get from the basement to the first floor, but I can't get between the first floor and the second floor. I can't find any place without knocking some drywall out and drilling through the fire blocks. So that's just me being lazy. So essentially what I did, this room that my lab is in is essentially started off as an office, and I just threw my NAS, my servers, my router, my switch, my UPSs, everything underneath the workbench, and it is, I'm not even going to show it to you, it is bad. It's just a huge rat's nest of tons of wires. And on top of that, I have the workbench computer, and then I have all the wires for my entire workbench. I've got all the instruments on my rack. I've got all of this stuff, and I've got, it's just a rat's nest down there. So I've got a little mini project. I need to go out to the garage and just get it done, especially before cold winter weather hits. I'm in the Midwest, so we actually have all 4 seasons. So I've got a few months left of nice cool weather, but then it's going to get really cold, and when it's really, really cold, it's hard to motivate myself to go to the garage and do anything. So time is ticking, but that'll be soon. That'll help me get projects done more quickly, because it's hard to do anything when you have no space. It really is. It's really hard. So. And I feel like I keep buying more plastic totes, filling them with junk, and putting them in the basement, and I just keep doing it, and I don't know where I'm getting all this crap from. So, and I have a backlog of things to solder for my classical soldering series. Anytime people suggest a kit they want me to see me solder, I usually oblige. I go and order it, and then throw it into my queue. So one cool one that I'm looking forward to, because I don't know, I just feel like electronics nerds are usually really interested in them. Geiger counters, I love them. I have like 2 or 3 of them already that I've a couple of kits, and one's a pre-made one, and I have some uranium ore and some other stuff that emits radiation, and so it's playing around with it. It's really fun. It's really cool stuff. And someone said, hey, can you order this kit from eBay? It was a Geiger counter kit, and then I ordered a separate tube for it, and that'll be coming up in one of my classical soldering videos. And those are easy videos. I don't know why I haven't done at least one of those, in the last couple of weeks where I haven't made a single video. That would have been easy, but because those I don't even talk. I just point the camera down at the workbench and just start soldering it together, and then edit in some classical music and then upload it, and people seem to like those for some reason. So some of those coming up. Tutorials and stuff is really the main reason I decided to make this channel, was to give back to the community, because half the stuff I know about a lot of these little weird things, it's stuff I learned from YouTube. It's such a really good learning medium. I don't know how we lived before the internet. It really blows my mind. Being able to just quickly get my smartphone out and Google something and learn on the spot is just awesome. Because where before, it's like everyone shrugs. So, if you're at someone's house, they might say, oh, we have Encyclopedia Britannica, let's go see if it's in there, and you look it up in the index book, and then nope, just can't fit enough information on analog books compared to what you can on the internet. And yeah, it's just such an awesome learning medium, and I've learned a ton. Everything from replacing a breaker in my house, because I have a laser printer and it trips the GFCI. I don't know if it's like coronal leakage from the fuser, because I think the fusers get really, really high voltage. There's like an inverter. So I don't know if it's that getting high enough voltage. There's a tiny bit of leakage through maybe some because because any plastic that's black is usually dyed black with carbon. Carbon's conductive, so I don't know. Like, I have a bunch of theories on why it might be, but enough current is leaking and not making it back to the return path that it's tripping the GFCI breaker out in my garage. So basically, I replaced it with a non-GFCI one, which technically is not legal in the States because they're required for all bedrooms and bathroom outlets now. So what I did was replace the breaker, but then replaced the outlets in the office with GFCI outlets. So it's kind of a, same difference, just a more expensive approach. But now the one outlet that the printer is hooked up to is non-GFCI, so then it doesn't trip, and then everything else is GFCI. And even the workbench, it's super overkill. I have it go through a GFCI power strip. It's like a trip light. It's one of the yellow ones. So safety's first. I don't want to get electrocuted and die, Can't enjoy your hobbies if you're dead. So yeah, and learning how to replace that breaker, guess where I learned? YouTube. I found a video of some electrician, Bubba Joe, went out to the garage with his thick southern accent and showed me how to do it in a matter of a minute, and it was really awesome, exactly what I needed, and went out and did it, and it was cake. Tons of stuff like that. Even just weird little things, like how to replace something in your car, It's not like you don't know how to do it, it's just nice to see somebody else do it, which is kind of why I made that recent video where I upgraded the firmware on my Rigol DP832A bench power supply. It's not that people couldn't handle it, it's just not your typical firmware update, and I thought for the people who are a little worried about breaking their unit, it might make them feel a little better about it by watching someone else do the entire process start to finish. So that's why I uploaded it. So I want to give back to the community, and so electronics, like really basic electronics tutorials. So most of the people who probably joined who came from the EV blog forums probably won't gain anything from these, but in the future I'm going to do some like really basic electronics tutorials, maybe some coding tutorials. I really like programming, it's fun. Maybe a little on Linux. Maybe I can do one on how to stand up a full like web stack. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff I have interest in that I would love to make videos about. I'd even like making a video about how to do basic video editing, because I looked out there and some of the videos are too long drawn. Some of the videos are not detailed enough, and they skip things that beginners miss. I've seen other videos that were just completely wrong in every way, and it just made me cringe watching it. And one thing I'm doing right now, by the way, is because I'm recording at 4K, it's still H.264, but there's something, maybe it's a new profile for the 4K. For some reason, Sony Vegas Pro 12, which is what I have, and I have been using it. Sony Vegas is so easy to use. If you need to learn video editing, it's a good place to start. But I just cannot get it to import these damn files. I tried everything. I installed QuickTime. I got codec packs. I tried everything. I just can't. And a lot of people suggested get this software from some sketchy website, and it'll convert it. Then you'll be able to take the converted file and import it. But anytime you convert a video format from one to the other, you're losing quality because you're recompressing it. And I don't want to deal with that, and that adds extra time and an extra step. So I decided to finally say, F it, I'm going to go to Adobe Premiere. And as much as I hate their new model of paying monthly instead of just buying it outright, at least you constantly will always have the newest version. Every time they update it, you'll be up to date, and so you don't have to worry about it. And sure enough, I downloaded it, drug my 4K video clips into there, and it worked fine. Now, first thing that happened, I drug a 4K... Excuse me, I drug a 4K clip onto the timeline in Sony Vegas on my main rig. My main rig's beefy. It's got a 6-core 53 or 50. Oh man, I really hate having a terrible memory. I think it's a. This is gonna bug me now. Is it the 5380, 5370, 50? Whatever the new, not the pre-Skylake ones, but the three extreme ones are. There's the 8-core, and then there's 2 6-cores, and the lower 6-core has fewer PCI Express lanes. I got the middle one, and then overclocked it up to 4.4 gigahertz. Is it 5530K, 5730K? That sounds right. I think it's a 5730K, and then it's a 6-core, and obviously with hyper-threading, that's 12 logical cores. I overclocked it 4.4 gigahertz. I have 16 gig of DDR4 RAM, which you think would be enough at Windows 8.1, because 10 is a pile of crap that I refuse to touch for at least a year, or at least until they get rid of some of the really stupid things that I hate about it. And I hate 8.1 and 8, don't get me wrong. I hate those two. 7 I would probably still be on if it weren't a huge hassle to switch back, but I drugged the 4K clip onto the timeline, and I watch the memory bar go doop, 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 up to 16, and then boom, computer crash. Now I have page file turned off, as you should if you run an SSD, because if you're constantly reading and writing from a flash drive, you're going to wear the damn thing out because they only have a limited number of reads and writes. Now, it shouldn't be a big deal because people have done the math to see how long you could technically go. But I just don't want to wear it out. I have a really fast, one of those 4x PCI Express lane M2 slots for an SSD. So it's like an SSD that's shaped like a little stick of gum. And I have a Samsung one. It's the XP941M. It gets like 1.3 gigabytes a second sequential download and like pretty close to that upload. It is really, really fast. And it's almost 3 times as fast as my Samsung 850 Pro. Or is it 840 Pro, 860 Pro? Whatever it is, the Samsung 8 something Pro, which is supposed to be one of the fastest normal SSDs, but those have been capped at 550 megabytes a second, thanks to the SATA 2 bus for like the last who knows how many years. So it's a beefy computer, and it should handle this, but for some reason, it won't. And so I, just as an experiment, got my MacBook out, MacBook Pro. I got the 15-inch one. It's probably like 2 generations old now, 3 generations maybe. It's got 16 gig of RAM also. But it's got DDR3 because it's not DDR4 yet. It's not Haswell. And I drug the 4K clip onto there, and it imported it fine. And I was able to cut it and render it, and don't ask me. It's the same exact software. One happens to be in Windows, one's in OS X. But on my desktop, it would crash. So I went and ordered on Newegg another 16 gig of the exact same memory that I have and filled the empty slots. And I have 32 gig on my desktop computer, my Windows machine. Now it doesn't, but it still gets full. When I'm doing stuff like auto tracking and stuff, it gets up to like 27 gig of RAM. It just blows my mind. So I went ahead and just enabled page file just because. And I haven't had problems since I've done that, but it's just insane that it takes up that much RAM. But for some reason, 16 gig on the MacBook did perfectly fine. Maybe they've optimized it better for OS X than the Windows version. I don't know. Point being, though, switching to that from Vegas was so freaking hard because Vegas is easy. Adobe Premiere, it's not that they didn't design it well. I think they designed it fine. It's just that they have so much functionality they pack into one piece of software that it's hard to fit it all in there, which makes it just overwhelming. And it's kind of like Toad. If anyone's ever used Toad by Quest Software it's a DBA thing, but if you use Toad, it's kind of like that. The first time you use it or you see someone else using it, it looks overwhelming. There's just so much to it, but once you get to learn it, you love it because it can do a lot. It's really powerful, but it's the same kind of deal. Adobe Premiere can do some really crazy stuff. Like if you're blurring out a serial number, you can do tracking, and you can mark blur this, and then you hit the little tracking button. You can tell it which directions and if it's twist and roll and all that, and you can move the thing around the video shot, and it'll track it and follow it frame by frame. And that's the kind of stuff I've not been able to figure out how to do in Vegas. I know there's probably third-party plugins and stuff you can get for it, but you got to spend money on that, and this is stuff that Premiere does out of the box. Premiere even does automatic audio file syncing. Obviously, like I told you, I record most of this using a smartphone, so I don't. A lot of people that use DSLRs will plug their external high-quality mic into their DSLR, and that way it's all recorded in the same file. I record them separately, and then I use a clapperboard like so, and then I sync the audio manually, and so now I will be able to just sync them automatically. It'll sync them by the sound clip on the video file from the phone versus the external audio, and then obviously the waveforms will line up, and it does the magic and lines them up and syncs them together, and it's freaking awesome. I've tried it and it's worked brilliantly. Some people said it wasn't ever perfect, but from what I've seen, it was dead on. I mean, it synced it perfectly without doing any work, so that should save some time in my workflow. And being Adobe, they were very friendly. There's a profile built in literally for YouTube, so you can hit H.264 as your codec, and then you can hit choose your container, which doesn't really matter, and then they have a drop down list of presets, and then there's a YouTube 720, YouTube 1080, YouTube 4K, and there you go. And then after you choose one of those, that's just like a starting point. Then you can up or down the bit rate and all that other stuff if you want to, and it's so far I like it, but man, the learning curve has been high. And again, I've been utilizing other people's tutorials on this stuff, and the tutorials were terrible. Some of the stuff hearing them say was just blowing my mind, and no one is calling them out on it. But I guess the people who already know the stuff wouldn't be watching those videos. So makes me want to do some video editing tutorials just on basic video editing, or maybe like if you use Sony Vegas and you want to switch to Adobe Premiere, watch that kind of video. So I might do one of those in the future. There's just tons of videos I want to do, not enough time, but yeah, they'll come, I promise. I just need to catch up on some other stuff. So in the meantime, I'll probably do little videos here and there, quick ones like these two that I recorded today, and then maybe a classical soldering one here and there, or if there's, I don't know. But I'm going to try to get more videos out, I promise. It's just the last 2 weeks I needed a break, and I had a ton of other stuff to take care of. So, whew, I made these way longer than I meant to. But, yeah, stick around, and there should be some more videos coming up. So, yeah, see you in the next one.